investigator up, and we'll hold up, Mario. I'm going to bring the investigator up, and we're gonna entertain all questions at the end about the dash cams and also this investigation. So we'll entertain everything at the end. Come on.
Yeah.
Today we're discussing facts related to 25-year-old Rudy Farias, who was reported missing on March 7, 2015. He was 17 years old when his mother reported him missing. During the 8-year time frame where he was missing, investigators followed up on the tips, leads, collected evidence proving that Rudy was not missing during the 8-year period. Many of these facts included contacts and statements with relatives, friends, neighbors, and medical professionals. Rudy was recently identified as having previous HPV interactions that he made contact with patrol officers out on the street. However, during these contacts, fictitious names and names were given, misleading the officers, and Rudy would remain missing.
I'm at 3 Church Road. I went to Waynesboro to bring this man down to this address, and now he's trying to force his way into a house. I'm afraid to move my vehicle.
He returned home the following day on March 8, 2015. Mother Jane will continue to see police are remaining adamant that Rudy is still missing. She alleged her nephew was the person who brings her down to receive
They're fighting in there.
It's inside the house now?
Yeah.
You have your doors locked?
It's open. I'm in a van.
You need to make yourself safe, okay? Even if you've got to drive away from there to get away from him and close that and lock that door. Do that for me now, please.
Okay, wait a minute.
He was in the room with a detective and he heard from Rudy firsthand. He said that there was sexual abuse. Said today, are you saying that the activist was lying?
Basically, what we're saying is our investigation, and we treat it the same. Our investigators were in the room, and basically, what they heard and what they interviewed, that's what we attest to in our offense reports and our investigations. And I'm not here, neither are they here to question anybody's integrity, but our integrity with the Houston Police Department stands, and we're going to report and put in offense reports what a victim or a potential victim tells us. Okay.
But just to be clear, in that room, the detective did not hear anything about sexual abuse allegations. Can you just clear that up?
Yeah, Sergeant Stephen Menes. Yes, I interviewed him, and no, there was no. I'm trained to listen for probable cause. I'm trained to listen for statements that can help me get charges or move forward with a case. And no, there was no statements made during this investigation so far. No.
Thank you. Next question. Go ahead, Mario.
Can that be answered in
Wait a minute.
Spanish,
Go ahead.
I want to get
We get it.
clarification on this, Chief,
Yeah.
because there's a key word there. You said there was no reports of sexual abuse. Is that correct, sir? What you said?
That is correct, coming from Rudy Farias.
Was there any conversations about a sexual relationship between the mother and the son?
So we don't release any type of information related to sexual assaults. That's just state law. I can't comment on that.
Go ahead.
Is Rudy a victim then in all of this, or did he and his mother work together? And I mean, he wasn't missing now.
The investigation is still going on, Courtney, and I'm not going to say that he's a victim or not. I'm thinking, and saying we're going to treat this just as we do with any potential victim or victim, and we're going to give respect to everybody that's involved. We're going to conduct our investigation, and we're kind of right at the beginning of it. This investigation is going to go on after this press conference.
What's next? Do we see any charges?
If charges are appropriate, they'll see. But let us conduct the investigation. And what's next, Courtney? Just as any other investigation, we're going to follow our evidence. We're going to do more interviews, and we're going to follow the evidence. And I think that's important. Go ahead.
Chief, can you say, were there any signs of mental illness, that he might be mentally ill, that his mother might be mentally ill?
We're not going to say that right now. Anyway, we're going to conduct investigation. It's really too early to determine that. There are going to be some more parts to the investigations, and you know, some of that may come into play, but right now.
So just because there were some other allegations that he had been held prisoner, that he had been taken to Mexico, is there any indication that that was true, or was that like a delusion?
Lieutenant?
Because that would have been kidnapping, right, or holding somebody against the will?
We don't have any information to say that there was any kind of kidnapping or anything like that right now.
As,
Have any search warrants have been served at the house, which used to be, when he used to be?
I think so. No search warrants.
No, at the time he was reported missing 8 years ago, being missing is not a crime. So the detectives had no lawful means or probable cause to issue a search warrant for the residence, which was searched several times.
We're going to work our way down, and we'll get back to you. Go ahead. Yes.
On the dash cams, what's the timeline for installation for the new ones?
There is no permanent timeline. As you can imagine, there's a cost to it, and there are some complications. To give you one just quick thing, a challenge. 200 of our vehicles are modeled 2014, are older. That's a challenge. I'm not, you know, when we're up against a financial budget like we are, you know, you got to pick and choose, and you got to prioritize some things. So, but as quickly as funding comes in, we're going to work to get in all of our patrol vehicles and those vehicles that come into contact with the public with dash cams. But I want people to realize one thing: 100% of our officers that's out there on the streets have body-worn cameras on, 100%. And we know for a fact that if you would choose dash cams, I'd love to have both systems, okay, 100%. But once you get out that car, where most things happen in interaction hand to hand, I want that body-worn camera. But as we get funding in, and as I said, the mayor is stepping up, and like he always does, but he can only do so much. This funding issue didn't start, and I'm gonna say this: I stay away from politics, okay? But the citizens in Houston, at some point in time, we're gonna have to really face how we're gonna properly fund public safety and public servants, okay? Because you need better fire trucks, you need better equipment. We can't keep kicking that can down the street. We're gonna have to talk about things of a revenue cap, but we'll leave it to the politicians. Next question, go ahead.
So I heard you mention that there was no need for a search warrant when he was reported missing years ago, but in between yesterday and the day that he was discovered, was anything searched? Was anybody questioned? Did anybody go by the house?
Rudy and his mother were interviewed yesterday. As far as anyone going to the house, it's still active investigation, and we can't release details pertaining to that.
Going-
So quick clarity, was he 17 at the time that he was missing?
Yes, sir, that's
Yes.
correct.
So he's 25.
He's
25 now. Yeah.
Going
Go ahead,
on.
Mario.
Was
I
there-
get you. Hold up.
Quick
Go ahead.
clarity, was there a missing persons report filed by his mother at the very beginning?
That was in March 7th, 2015.
So there was a missing persons report that was filed,
Correct.
and so this is what I'm asking on this end. Could the mother be detained for filing a missing persons report and never once informing HPD that he came home?
Yes, she could be reported or detained. That offense is a Class C misdemeanor, which is similar to a traffic citation. Right.
Rudy Farias was found on Thursday. Your investigator spoke to him nearly a week later. Do you think it was a mistake not to speak to him sooner? You said yourself the DA has not accepted charges. That's a week where evidence could be destroyed. What's your response to that?
So it's procedure for the investigation to go through a channel. And when it reaches us, we review it. There was no urgency to investigate a recovered or found person. And I say that because patrol officers made contact with him. They ensured that he was safe. They contacted HFD to make sure that he didn't need medical treatment. and he was cleared on scene by HFD. He refused transportation to the hospital. His mother took him to the hospital later on that evening.
What the lieutenant said, I think, is important. You can't force a potential victim of a missing person, okay, with nothing else to come in and give a statement. So it takes time to try to work with people to get that statement.
And Chief, I know you believe in transparency, and for the public, we're going to put this on the news and it's going to cause more questions because yesterday we hear from the activist who makes these shocking allegations. And as a reporter who was there, I did see him myself go in and out of the room. So it was clear that he had some sort of communication.
Transparency doesn't come in front and maintaining the integrity of the investigation. And that's where my transparency stops. But, and it's the last question I'm gonna ask about the activists or anybody else. We're gonna follow our investigation and we treat it the same. Everybody has a role in society and we respect everybody, including our activists, but the integrity of the investigation is number one, and we're gonna maintain that.
Him going inside that room, did that jeopardize the investigation by allowing him?
I don't think
inside
so.
that room?
Go ahead.
Do we know where's Rudy at this moment and his mom?
Yes, we do. Rudy is safe. He is with his mother by choice.
And he's an adult.
Yeah.
He's a 25-year-old man.
Right. Hey, we're gonna get a few more. Mario right here, and then we're gonna work our way down. Probably 4 more. We're gonna wrap.
You used the word a minute ago in describing Rudy as a victim. We know that
I said potential victim, and I want to be respectful on that. Yeah.
he disappeared when he was a young man, teenager. Okay?
17.
17 years old. There's been cases in the past where people have been brainwashed, where people have been told you cannot, and they're being held against their will. For everyone that's going to be watching this worldwide, because this is a worldwide story, how do you not separate him until you guys are able to get everything together, considering that he disappeared as a child?
Mario, you've been in the business for a long time,
I have.
and I'm gonna let you answer that. Okay, we've explained everything, some of the challenges and whatnot. Here's a fact: he's a grown man. 20. Listen to what I'm saying. You want me to answer? No, he was an adult, 17. Hold up, okay. Not confrontational. I respect what everybody does. Okay, but 17 years old. That's an adult in the state of Texas. Okay. A lot of things that we shared up here. So we're going to work our way through it. It takes a little while. There's a lot of development still, even last night. Okay. We know that everything's coming up. We're going to investigate it. The integrity is going to stay in place. We're going to treat him the same as any other person that comes through that we're conducting investigation on. I'm done with that part.
You
Go
said
ahead, Courtney.
officers.
Detective, this might be a better question for the
Go ahead.
detective. I don't know.
Okay.
What's the reason then? What can you tell us about why Rudy and his mother then allegedly lied for 8 years and said he was missing when he clearly wasn't?
I can answer that though. I mean,
Yeah.
protect.
What's the
We
reason?
can't predict motivation or whatnot. We can just try.
They
Yeah.
offered during
right.
their interview
Yeah.
that they said, why go on living this life?
But during the interview and the particulars of it, it's active investigation.
Right.
We
But you
respect
can't
it.
give us anything.
Okay. Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, I mean, an 8-year investigation like that, how many resources does it take out?
We wasn't just doing 8 years total investigation. Okay, so it went dormant for a little bit, but the case was still open. Okay, and I want to say this: until we find people, until we clear it, that's when it should be cleared. But if your question is, we expended some resources. Absolutely, yes.
You said that with the dashboard cameras, the age of some of the vehicles presents a challenge to installation. Is that what you meant? I'm trying to clarify.
No, you're prioritizing. Okay, we're in a budget that there are challenges. Okay, and what I presented, and we'll side note this. Okay, because it takes a little while to explain it. When you have challenges, people look at a $1 billion budget. Okay, and everybody just, oh my God, HPD has a lot of money. 92% of that goes to salary and benefits. So it's not a whole lot of money. We have to pay our people and we have to be competitive. The mayor just gave $7.2 million so we can get more cadets in. So there are a lot of challenges. What I'm saying is this didn't happen just in the mayor's administration. For years, you need so much amount, 14 million. I always talk about that to properly replace vehicles in our fleet. But some years when things are just, you got a lot of stuff going on, okay? When you don't get that, it kicks it back and it makes it worse. We have an aging fleet. 50% of our vehicles are a little bit more are beyond the replacement life. And that's patrol vehicles, 100,000 miles, 5 years. Unmarked vehicles, 120,000 miles, 7 years, okay? So we have a very aging fleet and a lot of other problems. So we'll prioritize and we're going to get there where we need to. But I'll sidestep. Go ahead.
Just want to clarify, so then,
Yes.
because I know you said it's an ongoing investigation, but can you say whether that they did give some sort of explanation for why they did this? Or
No.
you can't say it all over?
No.
You
we're
said
not gonna
patrol
say
units
anything.
made
Let me
contact
get you
with
and then
Rudy.
I'm going to get you. You're going to be the last one. Go ahead.
So I know that, why were HPD officers at the home this morning? And also, I know family members are concerned for Rudy's safety. Is there no concerns as far as the investigators?
You guys want to talk about that call for service?
We can. It's a call for service. There was a burglary report last night at the house. Patrol responded, and we were alerted because it was a house of note, and it's been part of the investigation, and that is also now part of our investigation. What happened last night? It's still
You said
going.
in the beginning of
Thank
this
you.
press conference that Rudy has made contact with patrol units at some point. Can you explain what that was? And does he face any charges for saying that he had false names?
So it is a criminal offense to give false names when you're detained under arrest or you're making a valid police report. There was an instance where he did that, him and his mother. At this time, though, the district attorney has declined to accept charges on that until our entire investigation has been
So
complete.
you tried to charge him as well.
The facts were presented to the district
Good.
attorney.
Mario, we're going to end it. Okay.
Can
Go
you
ahead.
say what that contact was quickly though with him? You said patrol units. Was it like he was stopped in his car? Can you just
I
tell us?
was gonna ask specifically, did HPD ever go to his home and with his mother, and were any fictitious names given at the home?
HFD, I'm sorry, excuse me. Investigators did go out to the home multiple times. They talked to various family members, relatives, friends, neighbors, and yes, they were given a fictitious name.
So was there contact made with Rudy at his home?
Let me close with this one thing, okay?
That answer, Chief?
Let me close with this, Mario. Look, we've been open as we can. It's not our first investigation, and everybody here understands what I'm saying about the integrity investigation. This is where we're going to end. We wanted to get up before a lot because this has come as not only a local, but a national, in some cases international, okay? Because everything, we get more information, and when it's appropriate, we'll send out information. And thank y'all for what you do every day.
Rudy's father, did you know Rudy's father when you were on the?
That's it. All right,
When
thank
you were on
y'all.
Patrol, did you know Rudy's father, Chief, by any chance, when you were on in the department?
This is Sunny Justice and Aspen Connor from It's a Crime and Shame, wishing you all a good night.